everyone. Namaste.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
sir.
sir.
Uh, आज
Morning.
सम्भव भएसम्म अहिले सबैजनाले भिडियो अन राखिदिनु होला। त्यसले
Good morning,
गर्दाखेरि
sir. Good morning, everyone.
हजुर नमस्ते नमस्ते सबैजनालाई।
Namaste, sir. Namaste.
आजको प्रोग्राम अघि एकजना पेरेन्ट्सले सोधिराख्नु भएको थियो
Yes,
आज
sir.
के हो भनेर। हामीले अस्ति बच्चाहरूलाई पनि त्यसको विषयमा ओरिएन्टेसन गराएको थियौँ। अहिले तपाईँले टाइटलबाट पनि हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ, अ ग्लिम्स टु यर चाइल्ड सक्सेसफुल हायर एजुकेसन होइन। सो आजको हाम्रो गेस्ट फेसिलिटेटर भनौँ सन्दीप मानसिंह बस्नेत सर हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँ चाहिँ मेरो अनन्य मित्र पनि हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँलाई धेरै मैले अगाडिदेखि नै समय मागिरहेको थिएँ अनि उहाँले आफ्नो बिजी स्केड्युलको बावजुद पनि आज हामीलाई समय दिनुभएको छ। एक्चुअली हामीले अगाडि प्लान गर्दाखेरि यो ग्रेड 9-10लाई मात्र भनेर सोचेका थियौँ र पछि अझै फेरि सन्दीप सरसँग मैले कुरा गर्दाखेरि लेट्स डु इट फ्रम ग्रेड 6 कक्षा 6बाट नै सुरु गरौँ। किन भन्दाखेरि भोलिको दिनमा अहिलेको वर्ल्ड एकदमै कम्पिटेटिभ भइसकेको छ। जस्तै मेरो जेनेरेसन सन्दीप सरको जेनेरेसन भन्दाखेरि पनि अहिलेको वर्ल्ड भेरी कम्पिटेटिभ हुन्छ नि। इभन नेपालबाट पनि पहिला हामी स्टुडेन्ट लाइफमा हुँदाखेरि नेपाल इट्सेल्फ धेरै ठाउँहरू त्यति डेभलप थिएन र नेपालबाटै हायर एजुकेसनको लागि कम्पिटिसन अलिक थोरै थियो। तर अब हाम्रो भोलिको दिनमा पछि भविष्यमा गएर चाहिँ हाम्रो बच्चाहरूको पालामा नेपालको यति धेरैवटा सहरहरू यति विकसित भइसके हुन्छ नि भन्दाखेरि भोलिको दिनमा हाम्रो बच्चाहरू हायर एजुकेसनमा जाँदाखेरि द कम्पिटिसन इज गोइङ टु बी भेरी हाई इन टर्म्स अफ वर्ल्ड सिनारियो पनि हामीले कुरा गर्दाखेरि। जस्तै अफ्रिकन कन्ट्रिजहरू नै भयो, कतिवटा एसियन कन्ट्रिजहरू पनि हाम्रो पालासम्ममा उनीहरू अन्डर डेभलप्ड लाइनमै थियो हुन्छ नि। तर अब त्यो कन्ट्रीहरू पनि कतिवटा कन्ट्री त नेपालभन्दा पनि डेभलप भइसकेको छ हुन्छ नि भन्दाखेरि अब त्यो रिजनहरूबाट पनि कम्पिटिसनहरू आउनेवाला छ र हाम्रो बच्चाहरूलाई अब 21st सेन्चुरीमा चाहिँ कसरी रेडी बनाउने त होइन। एकाडेमिक्सले मात्र पुग्छ हुन्छ नि। भोलिको दिनमा एसईमा 4 जिपिए ल्याएर मात्र भोलिको दिनमा हामी बच्चाहरू चाहिँ मास्टर्स या ब्याचलर्स राम्रो युनिभर्सिटीमा गर्न जाँदाखेरि एडमिसन पाउने या स्कलरसिप पाउने चान्सेसहरू कतिको हुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि अब सन्दीप सर आफै पनि पहिला युएसको एउटा वान अफ द बेस्ट युनिभर्सिटीबाट उहाँले स्टेफन नट ओन्ली 100% स्कलरसिप तर स्टेफनै लिनु भएर एउटा युनिभर्सिटीले उहाँलाई इन्भेस्टै गरेर पढ्नुभएको मान्छे हुनुहुन्छ र उहाँको एक्सपिरियन्स अहिले बच्चाहरूले उहाँको प्रोफाइल पनि इन्ट्रोड्युस गर्छन् बच्चाहरूले। उहाँले पहिला 5 इयर्स जस्तो हार्वर्ड युनिभर्सिटीमा पनि उहाँले आफ्नो सर्भिस दिइसक्नु भएको छ र अहिले पनि उहाँ क्याम्ब्रिज युनिभर्सिटीमा उहाँले एज अ प्रोफेसर पढाइराख्नु भएको छ हुन्छ नि। अनि अहिले उहाँले चाहिँ अब हाम्रो बच्चाहरूलाई अहिलेदेखि नै कसरी प्रिपेयर गर्ने त होइन, अहिलेदेखि कसरी प्रिपेयर गर्ने। अब हामीले अहिले टाइम म्याट्रिक्समा कुरा गर्दाखेरि हाउ टु किप आवर चिल्ड्रेन इन क्वाड्रेन्ट 2। अब हाम्रो बच्चाहरूले बुझ्नुहुन्छ होला ग्रेड 4 एन्ड अब क्वाड्रेन्ट 2 एभ्री वान अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड्स अबाउट इट राइट। क्वाड्रेन्ट 2 हामी क्वाड्रेन्ट 2मा कसरी हुने त भोलिको दिनमा +2 पछि मात्र अनि के अरे प्रिपेरेसनको लागि लाग्दाखेरि भनेको त्यो बेला स्ट्रेस हुनसक्छ, गाह्रो हुनसक्छ। तर आजैदेखि हामीले के स्किल्सहरूलाई डेभलप गरेर आफूलाई 21st सेन्चुरी प्रिपेयर्ड बनाउने त भन्ने कुरा सन्दीप सरले आफ्नो एक्सपिरियन्स पनि सेयर गर्नुहुन्छ। सो बिफोर सन्दीप सर स्टार्ट्स, ओके भविष्य, प्रशियन, रिदम एन्ड आरब, आर यु रेडी?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the
Yes, sir.
floor is yours. So once
Yes,
again, I would
sir.
like to welcome all the parents and children. र आजको यो सेसनलाई मूर्त रूप दिनलाई हजुरहरूको प्रश्न कतिजना पेरेन्ट्सहरूले बच्चाहरूले अलरेडी अस्ति गुगल फर्ममा लेखिसक्नु भएको छ। तर पनि अब लेख्न नभ्याउनु भएको, फर्म भर्न नभ्याउनु भएको अभिभावकहरूले र बच्चाहरूले पनि आफूलाई लागेको प्रश्नहरू यो आजको प्रोग्राम भनेको सन्दीप सरले आफ्नो तर्फबाट केही कुराहरू राख्नुहुन्छ तर यसलाई मूर्त रूप दिनलाई चाहिँ हजुरको प्रश्नहरूले धेरै ठुलो भूमिका खेल्छ। सो I'm very hopeful and very confident that today's session is going to be very productive for our children and very interactive too. Okay, so the floor is yours, children.
Sir, can we start?
Yes, 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 you can.
Good morning, everyone. I am leader Bhavishat Gurung, studying in grade 6 of the Elite School. Today, along with my three other friends,
Leader Arab Bortola,
Leader Prashant.
and leader Ridham Thapa.
we are introducing our facilitator, Mr. Sandeep Singh Basnet.
Sandeep Basnet has been working in technology and management space for more than 15 years, advising companies on business and technology strategies and implementing solutions in multiple industries including healthcare, financial services, education, and nonprofit. Currently, he works as a director of
Itu bawah join
G&A
na suara sige
division
na.
of a biotech company in Boston. Prior to working for multiple biotech companies, Sandeep worked as a senior manager of financial strategies and planning systems at Harvard University for around 5 years. He was primarily responsible for managing, enhancing, and supporting budgeting and planning applications that provided an enterprise platform for many key processes, including operational budgeting and forecasting, interim reporting, long-range planning, tuition enrollment, financial aid planning, capital planning, and capital project approvals. Before that, Sandeep worked in healthcare industry focusing on strategic planning, financial management, clinical development, and process standardization. Sandeep has experience teaching at Cambridge College, Linus State University, and facilitating at Harvard Business School and Harvard IT Academy. Besides, Sandeep is an avid real estate investor and loves advising new startups.
He holds a Master of Liberal Arts (ALM Management) from Harvard University, an MBA Finance, and a Master in Information Systems (MSIS) from Illinois State University. He is a certified project management professional (PMP) and a certified Lean Six Sigma Black Belt (LSSBB).
He likes to spend time with his family, wife, Prachi, and two little boys of 2 and 4 years. Besides trying to check off some of his bucket list items whenever his schedule permits, so far he has checked off driving, bungee jumping, paragliding, zip lining, whitewater rafting, and a full marathon.
Let's welcome him with a big round of applause.
Thank you so much, Leader Bhavisya, Leader Arab, Leader Rhythm, and Leader Prashian. Thank you so much, Principal Mr. Vinay Baide, sir. And first of all, I would like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity, right? To the entire parents, students, and the Elite Squared family. My name is Sandeep Basnet. So I am currently living in Boston, Massachusetts. The time here right now is 10:34 p.m. in the evening, so it's almost bedtime. But still, I think like this is going to be helpful for me to share some knowledge with you guys um, and use this opportunity to exchange ideas, right? So again, thank you so much. I know a lot of parents ask same question: What is this program about? What are we trying to achieve and things like that, right? So just to summarize, this is nothing, but it's more like exchanging ideas. I used to be you guys, like the students right there who are listening to me, right? I used to be exactly in same place, I would say 20, 25 years ago, right? So me, I feel like I have achieved something, but I don't know if that's enough yet. I don't consider myself to be expert in anything. But for me, one of the core values is giving back, right? So I feel like I have achieved one level in my career. So what can I give back to my country or community? I think this is one of them, right? So how can I guide you guys? How can I share some of the experience that might motivate you guys in future? So that's the whole concept, right? So nobody forced me to be here. Nobody paid me to be here. I know Mr. Binir Baidesa for so long. He's been a real dear friends to me for a long time. The Elite Squad has been a family, so that's the reason I'm here, right? So again, I just put together a quick presentation. I don't think it goes more than 20-25 minutes. Let's finish those things. And besides that, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll be around even after this presentation. If there's anything that I can help personally, more than happy to. Right? So here's the quick agenda for today, right? So I'll do my introduction. I'll share my life story. Again, um, I'm telling you guys, like I used to be in exact same seat 20, 25 years ago. So I know exactly what it feels like, right? So I'm sure I can read your mind. I know exactly what are the different questions. What do I want to do after I do grade 10? What do I do after I do grade 12? How do I go to US? How do I get full scholarship? All those kind of things. I know what you guys are thinking. I know what parents are thinking. Definitely, we can talk more. I can definitely help share ideas. And I assure you, we as a Elite Code family will be in better spot, right? We'll be sharing my learnings, and then if there's any Q&A, we'll have time for that as well, right? So usually in my teaching career, I always start with a joke, right? I mean, it's always a fun way to start the presentation conversation, right? So one of the first slide I have is why did the kid eat his homework, right? So it's supposed to be a joke, funny thing, just because his teacher said it was a piece of cake. Right? So I'm sure like school teachers say the same thing sometimes as well. Looks like nobody laughed, but that's still fine. I still have one more. um, why do the elite score teachers wear sunglasses to school? The answer is because students are so bright. I hope that's true. I hope that's not a joke. So let's move forward, right? So again, it's a fun way to start a conversation, especially when I teach and stuff. This is usually the icebreaker, so people laugh, feel relaxed, and move on, right? So who am I, right? So I'm a son, brother, husband, and the father of two little boys, right? So I have my mom and dad, my sister, my wife. Luckily, I'm blessed. They're all here in US as a happy family, so I feel I'm extremely blessed here. I am a finance and technology professional, being in career for more than 15 years now. I have experience working in healthcare. Again, like a lot of experience comes from working in US, right? So I've worked in like healthcare industry. I've worked in higher education, especially in Harvard University for close to 5 years. Currently, I work in a biotech firms, right? So currently, I'm a director there. So that's my work profession, right? Besides work, I believe in multiple sources of income, doing a continuing education as well. So I'm a big real estate fan, right? So I do a lot of investment. I buy, sell houses, do rental. That's another source of income for me. When sharing knowledge for you guys as well while growing up, right? Don't just rely on one source of income because it could happen, it could not happen. You guys might be fired from a job and things like that. So always look for the multiple sources of income so you'll be confident, right? So that's what I try to do. I consider myself as entrepreneur as well. I have started more than 4 companies. Currently, those are the companies that's still alive, and I'm the owner and founder of those companies, right? Um, so when I have free time, I love to share ideas. I love to give back. So that's why I go to college and teach as well, right? So I have tomorrow morning I go and teach whole day
ल
to the master's students
यो
here
अटेन्डेन्सको जुन रहेछ
in
त्यसको
Cambridge
स्क्रिनसट लिएर
College, right?
राख्नु
So that's a brief description of who am I. If you look at the picture on the right side, that's what I love to do. Definitely, I look like I'm a serious guy, but I love extreme sports. I've done skydiving, paragliding, bungee jumping, whitewater rafting, full marathon, half marathon, done at least once, right? So I love those kind of um, extreme sports. This makes you feel alive, right? So that's me. Um, moving on to what's my journey, right? So if you look at that picture, that's my sister. So again, I'm super blessed. My sister works at Harvard University still. My wife works at Harvard University still. A matter of fact, my sister was first Nepali person to be awarded as a Harvard hero, right? So she got that award. I'm really proud of her. Talking about me, my journey, I was born and raised in Kathmandu, Nepal, right? So I told you again, I used to be in exact same seat, but you guys are super blessed. You have encouraging parents, teachers. You guys are yourself expert in computer technology, using this platform to be here in this kind of session, right? So definitely you guys are way forward than I used to be 25 years ago. I'm a first generation college student. Uh, my dad and mom, they never went to school, right? So, but despite that fact, they knew that education could change our life. I come from really low, medium class family, right? I we struggle to even
Hello.
go through schools, regular day in and day out,
हजुर
but
नमस्ते.
they always valued education so much because they
हजुर
knew if anything
हजुर
that could change our life, that would be education, right? So
आज
I'm
को छैन
super
त?
blessed. I mean, you guys are here, you're
हजुर
asking a lot of questions, right? My dad, I still feel proud of him. He didn't understand anything, but
हजुर
he made sure he went to my school
हजुर
once every month just to understand how I am doing. Like he did
मलाई
not
त
know
थाहा
all
हुँदैन.
details specific, but
म
he
यसो
made
गर्छु
sure he
भनेको
went there
फेरि.
uh,
हजुर
just to
मैले
understand. Teacher took care of me and made sure like I'm
हुन्छ
focusing on
हुन्छ, म
education,
म
right? So
म
again, so
पठाइदिन्छु.
super proud
अनि
to see
के गरेको
parents
हजुरले आज
here thinking
के पो थियो
about
भोलि
your
पनि भ्याउनु
future
भयो
education
केही मैले
together. So I think
ल
that's definitely a
एडमिट कार्ड
right move,
दिन
right?
भनेर भनिदिन्छु.
So I did my schooling as well as undergrad in Nepal. That's where I met my friend Binay sir, right? So we did our undergrad
हजुर
together. We went to
हजुर
Mingalam school. We did our BBA
अनि
together,
हजुर
right?
एकचोटि
So immediately
स्कुल
after, I
आउनुभयो
used
भने
to
उ
work for a
गर्नुहोस् न,
bank.
मैले नम्बरहरू
I happened
पठाइदिन्छु.
to get a scholarship
नानुलाई
to do
नपठाउनु होला,
my
सानै छ,
MBA
हुन्छ
in
नि,
finance,
पैसा
and that's when
नपठाउनु.
I
हुन्छ
came here in
हजुर,
US in
नमस्कार.
2007, right? While doing a master's, was because I came from like Nepal, where the focus is education. It's like study. So I found out I could do two masters together. So I tried that. I graduated with both MBA as well as masters in computer science together, and I started working in professional field, right? So immediately after all those career moves happened, started working for hospital system, Harvard. Despite those facts, I made sure that continuing education is key for me. I still love reading books. I still love taking classes and things like that, right? So um, I graduated from Harvard University myself in 2021. So that's my high level journey, right? Again, this whole session is not. I'm not here to brag what I've achieved, but just wanted to give you guys a story that I come from exactly same background and I'm here, right? So what can I do, or if this story motivates even uh, in any ways, I think this whole session, I consider that to be a successful one, right? So again, don't take me elsewise. I'm not here to brag what who I am or what have I accomplished. It's more like you, like how can I help you? How can Elite Squared family help you be here or even in better spot where I am, right? So while talking about this, I just wanted to give hats off to Mr. Binay Vaidesar as well, right? So he chose not to go outside of his country, right? He could have literally done it and would have been in way better position than where I am. I know his caliber; he's been super talented and all those kind of things. But the he chose to educate students in Nepal, right? He's one of the principals that I talk on a regular basis, and I don't think I've ever talked with any other principals or educators in Nepal, right? So he's so motivated and focused that he wanted kids to grow, kids to be curious, ready for this whole 21st century, right? I mean, even this session would not have happened if he did not reach out to me and talk about what can we do for our students, right? So that's why we are here. Again, hats off to Mr. Binabai sir, as well as entire Elite Squared family. I mean, you guys are amazing. I see your Facebook post, different kind of new things that you guys do. I don't think even schools here in US does those extraordinary things, right? So again, you guys are in good hands. And definitely, I assure you that Vinay Bhaidesar did not pay me to say this. So rest assured, right? So again, hats off to the entire crew here, right? So giving you information in terms of what higher education means to me, right? For me, it's full of sacrifices. Right? People don't talk about those sacrifices, right? My parents sacrificed. Worked hard to make sure that we went to boarding school. I mean, it was hard for them to make sure they collect all those tuition fees and things like that. They sacrificed, and even me as a student, I sacrificed, right? Like, I know I used to be up until 1, 2 studying, again getting up early, all those kind of things people don't talk, right? So I know it's study could be hard, and that's one thing for me is like it's full of sacrifices, right? And that's something that you have to do. There's no shortcut. I mean, there's a lot of technologies. There's so many improvements there, but there's no shortcut for sacrifices as well as perseverance, right? So you keep on doing. There's hard work involved. There's no shortcuts at all, right? It's like you can't go from A to Z directly. It has to be A, B, C, D in a gradual fashion, right? So don't take those things as granted. I mean, those things. I mean, if you go to gym, right? You might not see anything for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, right? And it slowly start to see some changes in your body. That's exactly it in terms of education as well. It slowly comes to you, but you just have to give everything you have day in sacrifices, have to do your perseverances, and then opportunity comes into play, right? So the right side, that's what a lot of people see. And you might see all those happy faces in social media these days, bragging about going to good schools, getting good jobs, getting a car, houses, all those kind of things. You see those persons, and then you feel like, oh, those guys got lucky, right? You don't see those sacrifices and perseverances those guys put in place, right? So again, that is for me what higher education means, right? I mean, could be different for you guys, but that's what's mean to me. And again, like I know I am lucky to be in sweet spot now, but I have done a lot of sacrifices and I persevere. I do hard work still, and that's when uh, opportunity comes, right? It's not luck. Whenever you do hard work meets opportunity, then luck comes in, right? Moving on, right? So I have a quick stat that I put together. It's education around the world, right? So there are 1.4 billion students on Earth, right? Out of 1.4 billion, there's 65.2 million educators, those are teachers and things like that, right? So again, just a quick summary of what this snapshot tells you is that there's so many people who are uneducated, who does not have opportunity like you guys, right? It is saying like a lot of people can't even go through the primary education, does not even know how to read and write, and things like that. So you guys are lucky enough to be here. You understand what I'm saying. You can read, write. You have encouraging parents. You have encouraging teachers. That means you guys are set for success already. There are so many students out there who does not even have those opportunities, right? So like you guys have internet, you guys have food, you guys have parents. I mean, what do you guys need more? Just focus on what you want to achieve, and goal is right there, right? You don't even have to worry about so many different things, right? So that's what it means. It's like in terms of whole world, you guys are privileged one, but make sure you make it count, right? So that's what I wanted to like quickly share there. Um, so benefits of literacy, right? So the higher education that we are talking about, what happens when you guys are well educated enough, right? So when that happens, there will be less poverty, meaning you guys are well enough, you guys can earn, you will have a lot of techniques, you can solve problems. That's what education brings to you, right? Same thing in terms of mortality rates, right? So whenever you know different kind of things, you're well educated, um, the the percentage of people dying, infancy mortality rate declines. Like the example there is in Japan, there's 99% literacy rate. That's why the infant mortality rate is only 2 out of 1,000. If you talk about Nepal, it's almost 25 out of 1,000, right? It's more than like 10 times there. Stronger economies, right? So if you are well educated, the dollar that's spent on you, uh, the society gets like way 700% more, right? Because you'll be giving back. Same thing, like more community involvement, just like me, right? I would like to get involved in community because I would like to give back, right? So that's what education makes you humble, right? Because once you reach at one point, things that you have gained, experiences that you have um, gained in your whole journey, you would like to make sure that you give back, share those things so other people can succeed, right? Number five is improved personal well-being. If you are well educated, if you know things, if you can read, write, you'll be happy. That's what stat says, right? Because you know what to do right, and you know what not to do, and things like that, right? So again, there's a lot of benefits of being educated, which you guys are already, right? So this chart, I just wanted to highlight the fact, mostly focusing on parents, right? Because in Nepali context, I know even now, when I ask kids, like, what do you guys want to be when you grow up? I'm sure 30% would say doctor, the other 30% would say engineer, and the other person would say pilot, right? So, and that's, I think that's, they don't even know what that means, but they just keep on saying because that's how they grew up, right? And same thing applied to me, like, when people said what you want to be, I'm sure I said exactly one of those, right? The reason I put those things here is there's so many jobs out there right now that you don't even know. Like, have you even heard about something called artificial intelligence specialist? Have you heard about data engineer? Have you heard about data scientist? Cybersecurity specialist? No, right? So if you look at the salary that they are making, they make more than 100,000 a year, at least in US terms, right? So quick message to parents: don't don't be super narrow minded and don't tell your kids like you have to be doctor or engineer, right? Just guide them, just be facilitator, try to explore knowledge, be, if you have access to internet, try to look at like what are the things that's out there that's really buzz, and then share those information so they can pick themselves, right? And again, I'm blessed in my terms because my parents, they never forced me like you have to be a doctor or engineer and things like that. They trusted me and tell like, hey, whatever you choose, we're fine, and should be good, right? So I don't think everybody would have liberty to do that. I just wanted to drop a quick 2 cents here to parents, right? Um, so what are the 4 C's? If you ask me, like what are the major skills that you will need in the 21st century to be successful, I would say these are the four, right? One is critical thinking. Anything that's given to you, be critical, like ask questions, right? Don't be hesitant to ask questions. There's nothing called stupid questions, right? Your friends might laugh because you ask those questions, but at the end of the day, those friends would not have known answer to that question if you didn't ask it, right? So be confident. If you guys don't know anything, just ask those questions, be curious, right? Creativity, right? Think outside of box, right? I know like everybody's doing same thing. We have same herd kind of mentality, but try to be creative, right? How can I solve this problem in a unique way, right? So be creative, right? And collaboration, right? In real world, you won't be able to achieve anything on your own. It's not a one individual game. It's a team game, right? You have to rely. You have to make your own team. So could it be in a professional work? Could it be in your family? Could be anything in sports, right? So you have to collaborate. You should be very good at working as a team. You might have a one skills that you're very good at, but there might be some skills that you don't even know or you don't want to be part of it, right? So that's why you leverage other team members. Number four, I would consider communication to be one of the key, right? So if you know anything, but if you cannot communicate those, it's no use. It's no use at all, right? And नेपालीमा पनि उखान्छ नि, बोल्नेको पिठो बिग्छ, नबोल्नेको चामल पनि बिग्दैन. That's definitely applies here as well, right? Communication. So I don't know if you guys know Warren Buffett, who is a big investors, right? So even his personal advice is if you'd like to invest in anything, invest in communication. Gain skill that helps you to communicate better. Communication in terms of writing, speaking. If you read 1 hour every day, that means only 4% of your time. If you do that within the next 10 years, man, you'll be ahead of everybody, right? So just think from that perspective, right? So those are the 4 C's, at least from my perspective, would be helpful for you guys to succeed in the 21st century. Quick glimpse here about successful people versus unsuccessful people, right? What would successful people do, right? So for me, they talk about ideas. They forgive others, have gratitude, they continuously learn, they enjoy being at present, and things like that. What about unsuccessful people, right? They're just more looking for fault in others. They're spending more time in unnecessary things, maybe watching TVs. They don't have any discipline in terms of reading books. They don't even have plans and things like that, right? So make sure which side you want to be, on the right side, left side, and make sure that you create those kind of habits so you become successful in life. Um, the iceberg illusion, right? So this is again it's similar kind of thing that we talked about. Whenever people see at the end, whenever you're successful, they just see the top portion, right? The iceberg portion. But the below portion is what gets you there, right? So I know a lot of people is like, oh, he became successful or she became successful because he or she got lucky. But I don't think there's something called luck, right? It's always hard work, dedication, perseverance. There's a lot of failures, sacrifices. That's what brings you there, right? So that's what you definitely need to focus on those kind of things as well, right? Um, One thing I really wanted to share was I know I was in eighth grade, right? So my father took me to a hospital, right? To a doctor, primary care doctor. And the primary care doctor asked me, okay, which grade are you in, blah, blah, blah. And okay, so what was your result? Like, where do you fall in terms of your results? So I think I was like fourth student then. So I was like super happy. And I said, like, I'm fourth in whole class. So I was kind of happy then, right? But he just got back to me and said, like, fourth, like, तिमी चौथो आउनु भनेको त like it's nothing. नेपालमै कतिजना स्टुडेन्ट छ, वर्ल्डमा कतिवटा स्टुडेन्ट छ, फर्स्टले त राम्रो ठाउँ पाउँदैन भनेपछि फोर्थले के ठाउँ पाउँछ होला भनेर भने के. And that hit me hard, right? So again, for me, there's so many moments in life, but that was one of the points that I still remember, right? So you might feel good that you are where you are, which is good, but again, there's always room for continuous improvement, right? So these are the learnings, right? So things that I wanted to share in terms of what I learned. For me, education is the key, right? The place that I am right now, I would not be here without education. So please make sure you have discipline. Make sure you attend your classes, respect your teachers, and have plan, right? So education for like people like us, people from Nepal or anywhere, right, is a key for a lot of opportunities, right? And that has been true for me, right? One example I can give you was while working at Harvard University, right? So five people used to report to me, five people under my team, right? I used to manage the whole budgets for Harvard, which was $4.5 billion every year. So out of those five people, the average years that they've been working at Harvard University was almost 20 to 25 years, right? So, and I used to like think, like they've been working in Harvard University for past 25 years, and past 25 to 25 वर्ष अगाडि त म नेपालमा गुच्चा खेलिरहेको थिएँ होला, right? So what brought me there and why they are reporting to me as their manager? Because education, right? That's the only thing. Because I did not come from certain elite family. I did not come from like different skill set that I had. It is all because of education, right? They value my education, whatever I brought in the table. That's why they reported to me, and I was kind of blessed. And that's the point where I realized why my parents and teachers said education is the key. Right? Always have a plan, right? Focus on what you want to do or become, right? Like right now, you guys might be still finding your way out in terms of what you want to be, and it could change. That's totally fine. But at least have a plan. What you want to do a year from now, what you want to do like 5 years from now. If you have those general pictures in your place, I think it is easier to be there rather than not having a plan, right? Once you dream, that could be achieved. But if you don't have a dream, there's nothing to go, right? And there's nothing to strive for. So have those plans, have a dream, right? It is okay to fail. I mean, you could fail, you might fail your class. There could be so many different reasons. You could fail your project, you could fail your new venture, right? That's totally fine. As long as you don't give up, that's fine. And I think same goes to parents, right? I mean, if you guys fail, if you guys get less grade in your class, don't be mad with your students or child. Like talk, like collaborate, and find out why that's happening, right? PTA केही पनि हुँदैन, right? So we want to make sure you have those open dialogues and conversation. You'll be like, what did you learn? As long as you learn from your failure, and as long as you don't give up, that's the key, right? Always speak up, right? Speak up in terms of like in a family setting, speak up in terms of classroom, speak up in terms of while you're working out in a professional career. Don't be shy. Like don't be like I cannot ask this question because I feel stupid. Just right? So always speak up. Um, Balance, right? So the balance for me is it's like past, present, and future, right? We're living in present. Uh, you might be spending too much time thinking about what happened in past, or you might be super worried about what's going to come in future. There should be always be balance, right? Enjoy your moment, like whatever you have, right? Like now, looking back 20, 25 years, I'm pretty sure like there's so many moments I still treasure, right? Like I might not even have pocket money to spend on so many different things, but I had like friends and we had a lot of fun. I still treasure those kind of things, right? So make sure you enjoy and enjoy your day-to-day life. Pause whatever you're doing. Make sure you reflect. I know one of the parents asked the question regarding what should we start, stop, and continue, right? That's exactly what I do in my professional work as well. Once I finish the project, we do a group meeting and then say, okay, let's do what to start, what to stop, and continue, right? So things getting better, things that helps you, you always start or you continue. But things that is not working out, you stop it, right? So those are the things you need to find out. I cannot tell you exactly what are those, but you should be able to do those exercise on your own, right? However you want to do it, every day, every month, and things like that, right? And last thing in terms of my learning is always think about giving back, right? Again, I know I definitely am not expert in anything. I'm 36, 37. I'm still working hard to be up in a career, to have my business expanded and so many different things. But still, like wherever I am, I feel like I can come back to my community and give back and share my findings and learnings and experiences that I've been, right? Like thing that I'm doing, I do this a lot, right? Maybe not in terms of presentation, maybe in terms of in person, in terms of charity. Always find ways to give back, right? So I think it's good. I don't know if you know Denzel Washington or not. I really like what he said, right? He said when you have used the ladder to go up, after you are done, please make sure you pass those ladders to others, right? So नेपालीको बानी त त्यस्तो हुँदैन. Like they will make sure they take that ladder to themselves and hold, but that should not be the case, right? Once you are in that spot, you make sure that how can you bring other folks in the same spot or maybe further, right? The other side that I have, I know like Elite Squad is doing really, really good in terms of so many extracurricular activities. Like again, kudos and hats off to Vanessa and team as well as students, right? Uh, I do follow your social media handles and channels. I see a lot of students posting about leaders in me videos, right? 7 Habits of Effective People. Even while I was working in professional setting, I know I read that book. I've been through those kind of trainings. How lucky you guys are that you guys can even experience all those things now, right? And I see like super amazing videos from students, like they can even act and like kill all those 7 different habits by using the hands or gestures and things like that, right? So again, that is just a different way of thinking, right? In terms of Nepal, what I see is you ask folks to memorize and then you just ask them to sit in an exam and whatever you memorize you just put it in writing. If you got a good grade, that's awesome. If not, you failed or things like that, right? But that's not how it should be. It's more like how do you make learning fun, right? You guys are leaders. I really like when you guys introduce yourself as leader Bhavishya, leader Siddharth, right? So that just gives you confidence, right? Like even in here, mind, it's a supercomputer. If you tell yourself that you are good at it, it just picks those things up. Versus if you say like, hey, I cannot do this, I'm not good at it. It just reads your mind in subconscious way, right? So always think positive and always have confidence, right? So that's exactly what the leader in the program is doing. I know that company is based here in Salt Lake, Utah, in US, right? I know Dinesh sir collaborates with those. Again, he's trying to give you exposure. He does not have to do those, but he just wants you guys to succeed, right? So it's more like if those whole principle influence how you see, right, you will definitely do things differently, and whatever you get is definitely different, right? Versus if you don't do anything, right? So that's a see to get cycle kind of thing. The other thing that I really wanted to kudos you guys was in terms of being a good digital citizen, right? I know you guys post a lot of videos, uh, give kudos to your friends. That's how you collaborate, right? That's how you motivate your friends, right? I know there could be instances where you don't like your friends and things like that, but I would say don't do those kind of comments in public, right? If you want to have one-on-one, just have heart-to-heart conversation, face-to-face, and be good with it, and then move on, right? But in terms of technology, anything that you do, right? Anything that you write in technology, social media, it's gonna be there for the rest of your life. Like there is nothing called erasing those things. It can hunt you back like later in life if you become president of a company or CEO of a big company. The blunder that you did at class of grade 5 can hunt you back, right? So be very cautious about whatever you post in social media, uh, and be a very good citizen, and not just in digital world, but also in physical world as well, right? So couple things that I really like in terms of quote, right? I know you guys have heard this a lot. I think this quote applies mostly to parents as well. Everybody's genius, right? But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, then it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid, right? So what I wanted to share here is not all students might be very bright. Not all students will be able to get like grade A in each and every subject, and that's fine. Like he or she might be better at other things, right? Explore those things and make sure he or she would have opportunity to get those things done. Some people might be good at arts, some people might be good at business, some people might be very good at studies, right? But don't compare one student with others, right? That's really, really bad. And again, quick message to parents, right? Hopefully, I know I see students smiling, so I'm sure they feel good. Um, the Abdul Kalam, the president of India, what he says is excellence is a continuous process and not an accident, right? So what I've been telling you, right? There's nothing called luck. Luck only comes when the dedication and hard work meets with the opportunity, right? So that's when luck happens, right? There's nothing called accident. So just take those things out of your mind, right? I mean, you could be lucky and win some kind of lottery. That's a whole different thing. But in order to be successful in your life, I mean, you just have to be discipline, hard work, focus, dedication, all those good stuff, right? Malcolm, again, this is one of one of the statement that's closer to my heart is education is the passport to the future. At least that applied to me. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Right? So hopefully that holds true for you guys as well. Before we end, I just wanted to share a quick video with you guys, right? So let me share my tab here. Hopefully you can still see. Can you guys see my screen, right? Okay.
Yes, sir, we
Yes.
can see your screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, so that video is very one of the near and dear to my heart, right? So that video is produced by one of the top hospitals in US called Cleveland Clinic, right? uh, don't judge anybody just by looking how they look. Just don't judge people because everybody has their own situation in this world. If you want to be anybody, be kind, right? Empathy is like making sure you put yourself in anybody's other shoes so you understand what they're going through, right? Even in terms of you, right? In terms of students, some people might be having family issues, some people might be having health issues, some people might be having financial issues, some people might be all set, happy, right? But again, like, don't judge just based on how they look, how they feel. If you feel something, just talk with them and try to find out, right? Treat others how you want it to be treated, right? So that should be one of the core principles, right? So with that said, I would like to wrap up my presentation. Thank you so much for listening to me. Again, in this whole presentation, one thing that I want you guys to get out from this: education is very valuable. Like, if you want to achieve anything, strive. Education, be disciplined, focus, dedication, and hard work definitely pays off sooner or later. So thank you so much, and thank you for the opportunity, Vanessa and everybody.
हस्, थ्याङ्क यू भेरी मच सन्दीप सर। सरले हार्डवर्क भनिराख्नु त म त हावर्ड हावर्ड पो सुनिरहेको थिएँ हुन्छ। सरलाई पनि मैले त्यो क्वेसन्सहरू सेयर गरेका थिएँ, पेरेन्ट्सहरू बच्चाहरूले
हजुर
राखेको। सरले कति धेरै यसो कुराहरू यसमा समेटिदिनु भएको छ सरले।
हजुर अहिले पनि
अभिभावकहरूले
कोहीलाई के क्वेसन छ, like if
हजुर
you want to ask me anything, please feel free.
मैले सरलाई के अरे ओके यु हेभ सम ह्यान्ड्स रेज्ड। अभिभावकहरूलाई बच्चाहरूलाई केही प्रश्नहरू छ सन्दीप सरको लागि भन्ने प्लिज यु क्यान रेज ए ह्यान्ड। ओके, आई क्यान सी प्रजन्य एन्ड रिदम। ओके, फर्स्ट प्रजन्य, वुड यु लाइक टु गो अहेड? Sohan Shrestha also.
Sure,
Okay.
sir.
Yes. Further.
Sir, like I wanted to ask, like there are many things like uh, I think financial education is important, but many people don't think so, and they don't know what income statement is, what sheet are, what is asset, what is liability, and how they play a great role in their future. So I wanted to ask you personally that how can these things affect our lives in our future?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Pradanya, right? So I would
Sandeep
advise
sir,
everybody to be. Yeah.
सर एउटा सानो रिक्वेस्ट सर, हजुरले दुइटै भाषालाई यसो ब्यालेन्स गरेर मैले त्यो भन्न
ए
सक्छु
हजुर
हजुरलाई है? हुन्छ
के अरे प्रजन, एकदमै राम्रो क्वेसन, राइट? सो फाइनेन्सियल एडभाइस, फाइनेन्सियल एजुकेसन भन्नुभयो नि, भेरी क्रुसियल, होइन? हाम्रो नेपालमा त स्कुलहरूमा त्यो इन्कम स्टेटमेन्ट, फाइनेन्सियल स्टेटमेन्ट त त्यो +2 त्यस पछाडि मात्रै पढाइने गरिन्छ, होइन? कतिलाई त थाहा पनि हुँदैन। प्रजनहरूलाई त अहिलेदेखि नै थाहा रहेछ, विच इज गुड। सो आई नो यु यु बी अ बिजनेसम्यान समडे, राइट? सो आई थिङ्क द्याट्स भेरी भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट, राइट? स्कुलको करिकुलममा छैन भने पनि त्यो कुरा त अब इन्टरनेटमा थाहा पाउन सकिन्छ नि त, होइन? बेसिक फाइनेन्सियल कुराहरू, आफ्नो डेबिट क्रेडिट के हो, चेकबुक कसरी ब्यालेन्स गर्ने, होइन? अनि अब आफ्नो इन्कम कति छ र खर्च कति छ, होइन? त्यो सबै क्यालकुलेसन त गर्न सकिन्छ नि त, होइन? त्यो त आफैले पढेको राम्रो, यदि स्कुलमा पढाइँदैन भने पनि त्यस्तो कुराहरू टिचरहरूलाई इन्फर्म गर्न सकिन्छ, होइन? के एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर अथवा एक्स्ट्रा क्लासेसहरूमा त्यो गर्न सकिन्छ कि? अरू कुरा त म के भन्न चाहन्छु भने, म अमेरिकामा बसे तापनि नेपाल र अमेरिकामा त एउटा कमन फ्याक्टर भनेको इन्टरनेट हो, होइन? मैले केही कुरा थाहा पाउनु छ भने म पनि इन्टरनेटमै बसेर, यही नै एउटा कोठामा बसेर इन्टरनेटबाट खोज्ने हो, होइन? त्यो कुरा नेपालमा सम्भव थिएन। हामी त्यो स्कुलमा पढ्दाखेरि इन्टरनेट त्यति सहज रूपमा थिएन भने, अहिले त नेपाल र नेपाल र अमेरिकामा केही फरक भनेको बाहिरको बाटोघाटो होला, होइन? लिभिङ स्ट्यान्डर्ड डिफ्रेन्ट होला, तर नलेजको रूपमा हेर्थ्यौँ भने you just go on your own, and then you YouTube, you do Coursera. There's so many free classes. Just try to learn whatever you're interested in, right? So good question.
ओके प्रजन्य थ्याङ्क यू भेरी मच। अनि सन्दीप सर अर्को एउटा जस्तै यहाँ धेरै स्टुडेन्टहरूमा जस्तै लिडर इन मी लाई एकदमै सहर्ष स्वीकारेका छन् विद्यार्थीहरूले होइन। अनि आफ्नो
हजुर
अहिले
हजुर
धेरै भएको छैन हामीले सुरु गरेको। सरले पनि अस्ति भन्नुभयो हामी कुरा गर्दाखेरि हो कि इट्स अ भेरी गुड प्रोग्राम भनेर। अनि एउटा इक्जाम्पल चाहिँ प्रजन्य पनि हो। उसले लिडर इन मीलाई धेरै नै स्वीकारेर अस्ति अब जस्तै डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर गर्नेमा पनि आई वाज भेरी सरप्राइज। म एकदमै चकित भएको थिएँ। उसले चाहिँ कनेक्ट आइपिएस चलाउँदो रहेछ होइन। मैले धेरै पछि डिजिटल ट्रान्जेक्सन यही लकडाउन पछि मात्र प्रयोग गरिराखेको थिएँ र उसले यहाँ अकाउन्टमा सरसँग सोधिराखेको रहेछ क्युआर कोड होइन प्रजन्य युआर आस्किङ फर क्युआर कोड टु अकाउन्टको सरलाई क्युआर कोड सोधिराखेको थियो।
Yes, sir.
अनि अकाउन्टको सरलाई पनि थाहा थिएन र मलाई पनि थाहा थिएन क्युआर कोड हुन्छ भनेर। सो हि वाज देयर टु गाइड अस होइन। गाइड गरेर अनि क्युआर कोड पठाइदिउँ। अनि त्यसपछि हि म्यानेजेस त्यो अहिलेदेखि नै उसले आफ्नो बाबाको अकाउन्टबाट चाहिँ सर्टेन कुराहरू जस्तै बिल पे गर्ने बिजुलीको गर्ने। सो ह्याट्स अफ टु यु प्रजन्य, तिमी अलरेडी यु आर क्वाइट अहेड।
द्याट इज
सो
अमेजिङ
आई
है। अनि
रेस्पेक्ट।
यस्तो कुरा चाहिँ होइन, मैले भने लिडर इन मी पनि मैले यो लिडर इन मी खालको प्रोग्राम नेपालमा पहिला सुनेको पनि थिइनँ होइन। नराठी भन्दाखेरि यहाँ चाहिँ अब जस्तै म प्रोफेसनल काममा गर्दाखेरि कतिले चाहिँ हामीलाई ट्रेनिङ प्रोफेसनल डेभलपमेन्टमा पठाउँदाखेरि त्यो किताबहरू पढाएर त्यो मार्फत मैले जानेको हो होइन। तपाईँहरूलाई स्कुलमै त्यस्तो कुराहरू अहिलेदेखि पढाउन मिल्छ भने त हजुरको त्यो गर्दा त धेरै राम्रो होइन। धेरै कुराहरू अहिले नै सिकिन्छ। अब मैले कति अब मास्टर्स पढेर 5-10 वर्ष काम गरिसकेपछि मैले बल्ल थाहा पाएँ भने तपाईँहरू स्कुलदेखि नै पढेर तपाईँ आफूले आफूलाई लिडर हुनु र यो क्वालिटी यस्तो हुनुपर्छ है भनेर फलो गर्नुभयो भने त तपाईँको त भविष्य त एकदमै राम्रो हुन्छ होइन। कहाँबाट कहाँ पुग्नुहुन्छ। जस्तै प्रजन्यको केसमा पनि जस्तै एउटा कुनै नयाँ युनिक आइडियाजहरू उसले ल्याएको छ भने विनय सरले पनि प्रोत्साहन गर्नको लागि अब उसले प्रेजेन्टेसन गर्ने हो कि अरू स्टुडेन्टहरूलाई पनि सेयर गर्ने हो कि त्यस्तै खालको इनोभेटिभ आइडियाजहरू कसरी चाहिँ ल्याउने र कसरी ट्राई गर्ने खालको वातावरण पनि बनाइदिनु पर्ने होइन।
Excuse me, sir.
हजुर
Sir, may I speak a little bit more? Like,
या go ahead.
yeah, sir. Like, I got to know about many things in lockdown. Like, another thing was stocks. That I don't like. Like, I don't recommend anyone to do it all day long or something like that, because I know that's very risky. But there are some things like IPO, which is
Right.
initial public offering, which is very beneficial for all. I know it won't be like given to or allotted to everyone, but they can just try to fill it, because in I think just 1,000 rupees we can apply for it. And there are many other things in Nepal which which are opportunities which we can grab still, but there are people who are very hesitant towards that, because they everyone has their own type of mentality that if they won't do it, then it is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So again, really, really good. And यहीबाट थाहा हुन्छ कि प्रचण्ड is very outgoing. He wants to learn something on his own, right? So तिम्रो उमेरमा त मैले आइपिओ सुने पनि थिइनँ होला होइन। अहिलेको केसमै हेर्ने भने पनि कतिजनालाई आइपिओ पनि थाहा छैन, स्टक पनि थाहा छैन। Again, one thing, be very cautious. It could be risky, but again, it could be like as long as you know what you're doing, तिमीलाई थाहा छ, सबै कुरा थाहा छ भने it could be calculated risk, right? So त्यो मैले के भन्न चाहन्छु भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो नेपालमा एटलिस्ट मैले नेपालमा पढुन्जेलसम्म चाहिँ किताब मात्र घोकाउने अनि लास्टमा आएर 95% ए प्लस ल्यायो भने उत्कृष्ट होइन। त्यो मान्छे चाहिँ एकदमै राम्रो गर्छ भन्ने त्यो छ नि, त्यो चाहिँ साँच्चीकै रियल वर्ल्डमा त्यो एक्ज्याक्टली त्यही अनुसार हुँदैन। तपाईँले ग्रेड ए ल्यायो भन्दैमा तपाईँ रियल वर्ल्डमा सक्सेसफुल पर्सन हुनुहुन्छ भन्ने छैन होइन। त्यसको लागि तपाईँले एक्स्ट्रा अरू कुराहरू तपाईँलाई के इन्ट्रेस्ट छ, आफ्नो स्पेसिफिक स्किल्स, जस्तो उसले भने जस्तो उसलाई स्टकमा इन्ट्रेस्ट छ, उसलाई फाइनेन्सियल टुल्सहरूमा इन्ट्रेस्ट छ भने त्यो कुरा पहिल्यैदेखि गर्ने, के स्टार्टअप गर्न सकिन्छ, के आइडियाजहरू अथवा के प्रब्लम सल्भ गर्न सकिन्छ भने एउटा कम्पनी दर्ता गर्ने अथवा केही पेपरहरू लेख्ने, आर्टिकल पब्लिस गर्ने। होइन मलाई कति पेरेन्ट्सहरूले सोध्नुभयो कतिवटा स्कलरसिप कसरी पाउने अथवा हार्डवर्डमा कसरी छिर्ने होइन। त्यहाँ कुनै पनि त्यो म्याजिक म्याजिक स्टिक छैन कि यो गर्यो भने तिमी हार्वर्ड छिर्छौ भन्ने हुँदैन होइन। मैले अघि भने नि जस्तै म फोर्थ आउँदाखेरि मेरो डक्टरले भन्यो फोर्थ त तपाईँको नेपालमा होइन वर्ल्डको गर्ने हो भने त तपाईँले घाँस काट्ने जागिर पनि पाउँदैन भनेर भन्यो क्या। त्यस्तै त्यही कुरा गर्दाखेरि त होइन हार्वर्डमा अप्लाई गर्दाखेरि तपाईँले 4 GPA मात्रै ल्याएर भएन नि त। सबैले 4 GPA ल्याउँछ तर तपाईँ त्योबाट भिन्नै हुँदाखेरि के गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ? जस्तै तपाईँले केही च्यारिटी वर्क अथवा भलन्टरी वर्क केही गर्नुभएको छ, समाजसेवा गरेर कसैलाई सहयोग पुऱ्याउनु भएको छ, कि नयाँ कम्पनी खोलेर केही उत्कृष्ट गर्नुभएको छ, तपाईँले केही ब्लगहरू लेख्नुहुन्छ होइन, त्यो एडिसनल स्किल सेटहरू चाहिँ राख्यो भने अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ बल्ल उनीहरूले उसको पनि क्राइटेरिया हुन्छ। ग्रेडिङको डेफिनेटली एउटा क्राइटेरिया हुन्छ तर हाम्रो नेपाली कन्टेक्स्टमा के छ भन्दा ग्रेड 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 होइन। तर त्यो ग्रेड मात्र होइन, तपाईँ कोसँग काम गर्नुभएको छ रिकमेन्डेसन ल्याउन सक्नुहुन्छ, तपाईँको भलिन्टरी समाजसेवा कस्तो छ, के एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर अथवा बिजनेस केही स्टार्ट गर्नुभएको छ, त्यो सबै भएर तपाईँको राम्रो एसे भयो भने दे इज definitely you'll have more chances in getting into Ivy Leagues or better schools, right? अनि अरू एउटा क्वेसन पनि सोध्नु भएको छ, वाट्स द मोस्ट युजलेस ट्यालेन्ट यु हेभ भनेर सोध्नु भएको छ होइन। त्यो चाहिँ मेरो केसमा भन्यो भने अब मेरो युजलेस ट्यालेन्ट चाहिँ आई वुड से सुत्नु, मलाई सुत्न एकदम मनपर्छ तर त्यो चाहिँ राम्रोसँग युज भइरहेको छैन किनभने धेरै कुरा गर्नुपर्ने भएको भएर द्याट्स द युजलेस ट्यालेन्ट आई हेभ एट दिस पोइन्ट। अरू केही क्वेसनहरू छ अरू?
यहाँ सोहन र रिदम, पहिला म रिदमको लिन्छु अनि सोहनको पेरेन्ट्सले रेज गर्नुभएको छ। ओके रिदम, यु क्यान गो फरवर्ड।
So, like, how can we know that which faculty like is best to choose for our future?
That's you. That's totally you. Right? मैले भने नि इन्टरनेट इज एभ्रिथिङ। अब मैले भन्छु नि नेपालमा हामी पढ्दाखेरि पनि यो टिचर है भनेपछि त्यो टिचरले जे भन्यो त्यही सुन्ने र त्यही टिचरले भनेको कुरा नोट बनाउने, त्यही घोक्ने, जाने र एक्जाम दिने। अहिलेको केसमा त्यस्तो गर्ने उचित हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्दैन मलाई। टिचरले पढाउनुभन्दा अगाडि तिमीले पढ्न सक्छौ होइन, टिचरले जति आउँछ तिमी पनि उत्तिकै क्वालिफाइड हुन सक्छौ क्लासमा जानुभन्दा अगाडि। यु सुड ट्रिट योर टिचर एज अ कोलाबोरेटर, फेसिलिटेटर हुन्छ नि। दुवैजना मिलेर चाहिँ के गर्न सकिन्छ भन्ने वातावरण हुनु पर्यो। तिमी बसेर टिचरले जे भन्यो त्यही नै सुन्ने र उहाँ राइट हो भन्ने खालको त्यो चाहिँ एकदमै गलत हो होइन। कहिलेकाहीँ मान्छे हो, सबै कुरा पढ्न सकिँदैन, सबै कुरा आउँछ भन्ने छैन। टिचरहरू पनि गलत हुन सक्नुहुन्छ कहिलेकाहीँ होइन, धेरै केसमा नहुनु होला, कति कुरा उहाँलाई पनि थाहा नहुन सक्छ। त्यो केसमा तिमीले थाहा पायो भने तिमीले पनि सेयर गर्न सक्छ। त्यसैले द्याट्स द रिजन आई लभ टु टिच, किनभने मलाई सबै कुरा थाहा छैन तर म जब क्लासमा पढाउँछु नि, मेरो भोलि क्लास छ, मेरो क्लासमा केही नभए पनि 20 वर्ष 25 वर्ष 30 वर्ष प्रोफेसनली काम गरेको मान्छे आउनुहुन्छ। म उनीहरूको अगाडि एकदमै जुनियर हो होइन, मलाई केही कुरा थाहा छ होला त्यो म पढाउँछु। तर त्यो बाहेक जब हाम्रो डिस्कसन हुन्छ, केस स्टडी हुन्छ, उनीहरूले डिस्कसन गरेकोमा मैले धेरै कुरा सिक्छु होइन। त्यसैले नै टिचरहरू पनि अफेन्ड हुनु भएन, स्टुडेन्टले मलाई सिकायो है भनेर होइन। स्टुडेन्टले पनि टिचरले चाहिँ गाइड जस्तो रूपमा मान्नु पर्यो होइन। त्यो बिचमा तिमीले रिसर्च गर्यो भने प्लस अब अहिले प्रजन्यले भने जस्तै उसलाई डेफिनेटली फाइनेन्स एकाउन्टिङमा रुचि छ, त्यो नै तिमीले जब जति पढ्दै गयो जुनमा चाहिँ अलिक लगाव हुन्छ त्यही कुरा छान्ने हो होइन। तिम्रो ड्याडी मम्मीले तिमी डक्टर बन, इन्जिनियर बन भनेर त्यो फोर्स गर्यो भने तिमी डक्टर त बन्नौ तर तिमी आफै पनि सेटिस्फाइड हुँदैनौ, अथवा मोस्ट अफ द केसेसमा चाहिँ तिमी डक्टर बन्न खोज्दै तिमी ड्रप आउट हुन पनि सम्भावना हुनसक्छ होइन। त्यसैले त्यो कुरा पनि हेरौँ सबैजना होइन। अनि अर्को कुरा चाहिँ म के भन्न चाहन्छु भन्दाखेरि म अहिले बस्टन म्यासाचुसेट्समा बस्छु। अघि मैले तपाईँलाई घमण्ड गरेर भनेको होइन यो बस्टन म्यासाचुसेट्स चाहिँ कस्तो भन्दाखेरि आइभी लिग स्कुलहरू सबै यहीँ छ, हार्वर्ड युनिभर्सिटी, एमआइटी, ठुलो स्कुल नि छ, वर्ल्डकै ठुलो हस्पिटल्स नि छ होइन। मलाई चाहिँ तपाईँहरूले एउटा रिसोर्सको रूपमा ट्रिट गर्नुहोस् होइन। अब जस्तै म एलाइट स्कुलको फ्यामिली हो, विनय सर मेरो एकदमै अनन्य मित्र हुनुहुन्छ होइन, हाम्रो प्रतीक्षा भाउजू पनि हाम्रो सबै फ्यामिली अङ्कल आन्टी हुनुहुन्छ। त्यसैले यो या एटलिस्ट तपाईँहरू एज अ स्टुडेन्ट म स्टिल आई ट्रिट यु गाइज एज अ फ्यामिली होइन। केही क्वेसन छ, केही जान्नु मन छ भनेर भन्यो भने मलाई सिधै रिच आउट गर्दा पनि हुन्छ, विनय सरलाई रिच आउट गर्दा पनि हुन्छ। हामी यस्तै खालको सेसन म नभए पनि अरू हार्वर्डमा पढेको अथवा एमआइटीमा पढेको विद्यार्थीहरू मैले लिएर आउन सक्छु होइन। तपाईँहरूलाई केमा इन्ट्रेस्ट छ हामी त्यही अनुसार डेडिकेटेड सेसन गर्न सक्छौँ होइन। अब तपाईँहरूलाई अमेरिका घुम्न आउनु मन छ र स्कुलहरू हेर्न मन छ भने पनि हामी त्यस्तो खालको प्रोग्राम गर्न सक्छौँ होइन। अपर्च्युनिटी धेरै छ होइन। तर के गर्दाखेरि तपाईँहरूलाई राम्रो हुन्छ, सहज हुन्छ, त्यो चाहिँ हामी एज अ फ्यामिली जस्तो एज अ टिम मिलेर अगाडि बढ्ने हो होइन। मैले अघि भने जस्तो मैले 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 घमण्ड गरेँ होइन म यहाँ छु भनेर होइन। मैले पनि हार्डवर्क गरेर यहाँ पुगेको हो। तर आई जस्ट वान्टेड टु गिभ ब्याक। म के देख्न चाहन्छु भने तपाईँहरू पनि अबको 10-15 वर्षमा एकदम राम्रो राम्रो ठाउँमा पुगेर राम्रो करियर होइन मा भएको देख्न पाऊँ होइन। इलाइट स्कोरलाई पनि एकदमै प्राउड फिल हुन्छ मेरो यहाँ पढेको स्टुडेन्ट त्यहाँ पुग्यो भनेर। हामी जस्ट ट्रिट एज अ गाइड, द्याट्स अल।
थ्याङ्क यू सर। सर अब के अरे रिदमको पनि मैले केही भन्छु है सर। अस्ति हामीले लिडर इन मीको यो अरू अभिभावकहरूलाई पनि भयो यसको इक्जाम्पल चाहिँ अस्ति एउटा हामीले सानो केस उनीहरूकै क्लासको प्रब्लम डिस्कस गरिरहेको थियौँ। मैले अस्ति सन्दीप सरसँग नि उसको बारेमा सेयर गरेको थिएँ जस्तो लाग्यो। इफ यु रिमेम्बर ओन्ली जस्तो लिडर इन मीको जस्तो असाइनमेन्ट एउटा थियो, उसको साथी एकजनाले गरेको थिएन र हामी केटाहरू क्लास 6 को मात्र थिए अफिसमा। ओके उसले उसको साथीले गरेको थिएन र उसको साथीहरूलाई नै नगरेको साथीकै क्लासमेटलाई ओके लिडर इन मीको 7 ह्याबिट्समा बसेर हामीले साथीलाई कसरी सजेस्ट गर्ने त भन्दाखेरि साथीले किन नगरेको भन्दाखेरि मेरो मम्मीले टाइम दिनु भएन त्यसैले मैले गरिनँ होइन। अनि रिदमले यो कुरा भनेको हो एकदम म्याच्योरिटीको साथ उसले म्याच्योरिटी कन्टिनमको कुरा गर्यो। सो साथी तिमीले के अरे यो 3 दिन अगाडि असाइनमेन्ट दिएको तिमीले नगरेको भए चाहिँ ठिकै थियो यो कुरा भन्नमा, मम्मीले टाइम दिनु भएन। अब 3 हप्ता भइसक्यो अनि तिमी त म्याच्योरिटी कन्टिन्युममा अझै पनि डिपेन्डेन्टमा रहेछौ, तिमी अझै पनि यु भनिरह रहेछौ होइन, अरूलाई दोष दिइरह रहेछौ, तिमीले आफूलाई कन्ट्रोलमा कहिले लिन्छौ होइन। अब त तिमी आई भन्ने बेला भएन र हुन्छ नि। मैले के गर्न सक्थेँ त असाइनमेन्ट कम्प्लिट गर्न, ल मम्मीले टाइम दिनु भएन अब मैले के गर्न सक्थेँ त भन्ने कुरामा तिमीले फोकस गर्नु पर्यो। अनि त्यसपछि अरू साथीहरूलाई पनि अब होला नि त उसले गर्न नजाने होला भन्दाखेरि उसको 2-3जना साथीले ओके गर्न जाने छैन भने इभिनिङमा यो टाइमदेखि यो टाइमसम्म हामी अनलाइन आएर सहयोग गर्छौँ हुन्छ नि भन्ने कुरा गरेको थियो। सो बिग राउन्ड अफ अप्लज टु रिदम अल्सो फर टेकिङ लिडर इन मी इन्टु यर हार्ट सोल हुन्छ नि। र त्यसरी लिएकोमा उसलाई पनि धेरै धेरै बधाई। र अघि सन्दीप सरले भनिराख्नु हुँदाखेरि
मलाई रिदमको नाम पनि राम्रो है।
सो सन्दीप सरले अघि भनिराख्नु हुँदाखेरि हामीले पहिला जहिले पनि भन्दाखेरि मैले भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ आई डोन्ट वान्ट डिसिप्लिन स्टुडेन्ट, आई वान्ट रेस्पोन्सिबल स्टुडेन्ट। मलाई आज्ञाकारी विद्यार्थी चाहिँदैन, जिम्मेवार विद्यार्थी चाहिन्छ भनिराख्दाखेरि आजभन्दा 9-10 वर्ष अगाडि के अरे ठुलो प्रश्न चिन्ह हुन्थ्यो कि त्यो वाक्यांशमा ठुलो प्रश्न चिन्ह हुन्थ्यो र के भन्दैछ यो मान्छेले डिसिप्लिन चाहिँदैन भनेर भन्दैछ भन्ने कुरामा चाहिँ अहिले सरले भन्नुभयो, सरले पनि भन्नुभयो जस्तै डिसिप्लिन भनेको चाहिँ गुरुले या अभिभावकले जे भन्नुभयो त्यसलाई सहर्ष स्वीकार्ने, त्यसमा गलत भए पनि आफ्नो त्यसमा विमति भए पनि त्यसलाई सहर्ष स्वीकार्ने भन्ने कुरा हुन्छ। तर रेस्पोन्सिबल भयो भने चाहिँ हाम्रो बच्चाहरूले जस्तै मलाई पनि भोलिको दिनमा मैले मेरो सिनियर भनेको मेरो कक्षा 6 कै बच्चाहरूलाई पनि भयो, कक्षा 4 कै बच्चाहरूलाई पनि केही कुरा डिसिजन हामीले गर्दैछौँ भने उनीहरूसँग पनि मैले सल्लाह लिन्छु होइन। उनीहरूकोबाट पनि सल्लाह आउँदाखेरि कहिलेकाहीँ ओहो मैले त यो पर्सपेक्टिभबाट सोचेकै थिइनँ हुन्छ नि भन्ने कुराहरू आउँछ होइन। भन्दाखेरि अहिले सन्दीप सरले पनि भनिहाल्नुभयो हुन्छ नि हामी एज अ टिचर हाम्रो पुरानो ब्रटअप चाहिँ कस्तो छ भन्दाखेरि गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरु महेश्वर हो, गुरु ब्रह्मा पनि हो महेश्वर पनि हो हुन्छ नि। तर ब्रह्माले पनि केही गलत गर्नुभएको थियो हुन्छ नि, महेश्वरले पनि गर्नुभएको थियो। त्यो कुरामा औँल्याइदिँदाखेरि हामी शिक्षकहरूलाई पनि या हामी अभिभावकलाई पनि कति कुरामा हामीले सच्याउन पाउँछौँ हुन्छ नि। सो त्यो कल्चरलाई अहिले चाहिँ सन्दीप सर हामीलाई त्यो भनाइ भन्दाखेरि ठुलो प्रश्न चिन्ह छैन जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई। अभिभावकहरूले पनि त्यो कुरा बुझ्नुभएको छ हुन्छ नि। र हाम्रो बच्चाहरूले पनि अहिले केही कुरा उनीहरूलाई चित्त बुझेन भने मेरै अफिसमा पनि आएर उनीहरूले प्रश्न गर्न सक्छ किन हुन्छ नि। त्यसमा म पनि अफेन्डेड हुन्न होइन। र कहिलेकाहीँ कोही गेस्ट आइराख्नु भएको छ भने गेस्टले चाहिँ अलिकति मुख बिगारिराख्नु भएको हुन्छ नि, कस्तो खालको होला बच्चाले आएर क्वेसन सोधिरहेछ प्रिन्सिपललाई हुन्छ नि। अब हाम्रो अझ पनि अलिअलि कल्चर कस्तो छ भन्दा प्रिन्सिपल देख्ने बित्तिकै बच्चा स्ट्यान्ड बाई हुन्छ नि, अटेन्सनमा हुनुपर्छ, थुर डराइहाल्नुपर्छ होइन भन्ने छ। तर यसमा चाहिँ हामी अभिभावकको पनि सहयोग छ अहिलेसम्म, विद्यार्थीहरूको पनि त्यसमा धेरै योगदान छ र अहिले हामीले बिस्तारो त्यो इन्भाइरोमेन्ट, त्यो वातावरण चाहिँ हामीले बनाउँदैछौँ। जस्तै मैले अघि भनिहालेँ यो
त्यही त अहिले मैले भने जस्तै होइन, अब विनय सर मैले अब चिनाएको छु उहाँलाई होइन, मैले पनि अब मेरो एकदमै पुरानो साथी हो होइन, उहाँको ट्यालेन्ट क्यालिबर स्किल मैले सबै देखाएको छु होइन। उहाँले चाहेको भए उहाँ विदेशमा गएर राम्रो सेटल हुन सक्नुहुन्थ्यो, मभन्दा धेरै माथि पुग्न सक्नुहुन्थ्यो। नेपालमा पनि उहाँले कर्पोरेट जब गरेको भए सिइओ मजासँग हुने मान्छे हो होइन। तर उहाँले आफैले पनि होइन म मेरो लाइफ चाहिँ म एजुकेटर भएर बन्न चाहन्छु, मेरो बच्चाहरूलाई चाहिँ राम्रो प्लेटफर्म दिन चाहन्छु भनेर उहाँले त्यो बाटो रोज्नुभयो होइन। होइन ह्याट्स अफ टु विनय सर। विनय सरले सबैलाई अहिले ह्याट्स अफ भन्नुभयो, बिग ह्याट्स अफ टु विनय सर। किनभने हाम्रो नेपालमा के छ भन्दाखेरि नजिकको देउता हेला भने जस्तै होइन। विनय सर लाइक हि इज भेरी क्रिएटिभ। उहाँले जहिले पनि मसँग गफ गर्दाखेरि पनि मेरो बच्चाहरूलाई के गर्ने होला, के प्रोग्राम दिँदा ठिक होला होइन, अरूहरूसँग त्यही यिनै कन्टिन्युस गफ गर्नुहुन्छ क्या। त्यो भन्दा द्याट्स हि इज सो फोकस्ड होइन। बच्चाहरूलाई कसरी चाहिँ राम्रो गर्ने, भविष्य कसरी राम्रो हुन्छ भनेर उहाँ इज फुल्ली इन्भेस्टेड राइट। त्यसैले मेरो उहाँले विनय सरले भन्नु होला नहोला, तर मेरो आवाजमा मैले प्यारेन्ट्स स्टुडेन्ट्सलाई के भन्न चाहन्छु भने तपाईँहरूसँग एकदमै राम्रो गार्जियन अलरेडी नै त्यो स्कुलमा छ होइन। त्यसैले तपाईँले आफ्नो छोराछोरीको भविष्य फुल्ली ट्रस्ट विनय सर र उहाँको टिमलाई गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ होइन। अनि अब आइन्दाको भविष्यको दिनमा पनि हामी मिलेर के गर्न सक्छौँ, तपाईँहरूलाई युएस आउनु मन छ, बाहिर जानु मन छ, के एक्सपोजर चाहिन्छ भने वी एज अ टिम होइन, हामीसँग धेरै रिसोर्सेसहरू छ, त्यो ल्याएर तपाईँ समक्ष हामी फेरि अरू के प्रोग्राम अथवा यस्तै खालको सेसन लिएर हामी आउने नै छौँ होइन। त्यति भन्दैमा अब आजको सेसन चाहिँ बाट बिदा लिन चाहन्छौँ।
सन्दीप सर, अब हामी तिनजनाको हुनुहुन्छ, अघि नै हात रेज गरिराख्नु भएको थियो, त्यसपछि चाहिँ
ए हजुर
हुन्छ सर?
ए हुन्छ हुन्छ।
मैले सोहनको पेरेन्ट्स, त्यसपछि क्रिस्टिन र त्यसपछि लास्टमा पोलिसका। हजुरको केही प्रश्न छ भने मलाई राख्नु होला, हामी अझै पछि पनि सन्दीप सरले समय मिलाउन सक्नुभएको अवस्थामा हामी अझै गरौँला। हुन्छ सोहनको पेरेन्ट्स।
त्यो मात्र होइन, जस्तै तपाईँहरूलाई के इन्ट्रेस्ट छ होइन, जस्तै अमेरिकामा पनि डिफ्रेन्ट स्कुलको मान्छेहरू छ, केही सब्जेक्टको बारेमा थाहा पाउनु मन छ भनेर भन्नुहोस् विनय सरलाई, हामी त्यो प्रोग्रामहरू तपाईँहरूलाई एरेन्ज गरेर फेरि यस्तै खालको सेसनहरू ल्याउने हो कि होइन। अथवा तपाईँहरूलाई होइन एक्चुअली हामी युएस टुर गर्न मन छ, मलाई स्कुलहरू देखाउनु मन छ, त्यहाँको मेथड कस्तो छ भनेर भन्नुहुन्छ भने पनि हामी त्यस्तो खालको पनि गर्न सक्छौँ होइन। अहिले कोभिड लाएर धेरै कुराहरू त स्टप भएको छ, तर कोभिड अलिकति सिद्धिने बित्तिकै वी क्यान डु सो मच।
नमस्कार सबैजनालाई, म चाहिँ सोहनको प्यारेन्ट। अमेजिङ सेसन, मलाई चाहिँ एकदम रमाइलो लाग्यो र एकदम मोटिभेसनल टाइपको थियो र एउटा यो मतलब पढ्नुपर्छ भन्ने जुन बच्चाहरूको माइन्डमा बसिराखेको छ त्योभन्दा अलग किसिमको एउटा सेसन थियो। मलाई चाहिँ एकदमै मन पर्यो। मेरो क्वेसन भन्दा पनि सरहरूलाई धन्यवाद यो एउटा अवसर जुटाइदिनु भएकोमा। मानिसहरूले यही एक्सपिरियन्स अरू धेरै मानिसहरू चाहिँ एउटा हार्वर्ड युनिभर्सिटीमा काम गर्नुभएको, त्यो एक्सपिरियन्स लिनुभएको, त्यहाँ कसरी पुग्नुभयो, त्यो कसरी सफलता हासिल गर्नुभयो भन्ने कुरा, यही एक्सपिरियन्स लिनलाई मान्छेले धेरै खर्च गर्नुपर्छ। मतलब त्यो एक्सपिरियन्स लिनको लागि मान्छेहरूले केही न केही खोज्नुपर्छ। तर यो अवसर जुटाइदिनु भएकोमा चाहिँ हाम्रो विनय सरलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद भन्न चाहन्छु र विशेष त सन्दीप सरलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद भन्न चाहन्छु। यस्तो खालको मतलब किनभने मान्छेले हार्वर्ड युनिभर्सिटीमा पढ्न जानको लागि चाहिँ एउटा एकदम खत्रै विद्यार्थीले मात्रै सक्छ, त्यहाँ खत्रै मान्छे चाहिन्छ, त्यहाँ सबै कुरा चाहिँ खत्रै हुनुपर्छ भन्ने एउटा माइन्डसेट राखेर बसेका हुन्छन्। तर त्यो होइन, तर मान्छेले हार्डवर्क गर्यो, उसमा लगनशीलता छ, अध्ययनशील छ भने जो पनि त्यहाँ उसको पहुँचमा छ भन्ने खालको एउटा एउटा मेसेज जुन आयो यो सेसनबाट मलाई चाहिँ एकदमै मन पर्यो। र यस्तो सेसन चाहिँ बार बार हाम्रो विद्यार्थीहरूलाई, हाम्रो नानी बाबुहरूलाई चाहिँ भइराख्यो भने उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ एउटा मोटिभेसन मिल्छ भन्ने मैले चाहिँ त्यो मेसेज ग्रहण गरेको छु। धेरै धेरै राम्रो लाग्यो, यो चाहिँ ग्रेट लाग्यो। र किनकि भन्दाखेरि मेरो सोच, म जे सोच्छु, मेरो जस्तो माइन्डसेट छ त्यो किसिमको कुराहरू म्याच भएको कारणले पनि होला मलाई अलि विशेष नै लाग्यो सर। धन्यवाद सर।
एकदमै राम्रो राम्रो भन्नुभयो, धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। होइन, तपाईँले भने जस्तै हामीले विद्यार्थीलाई यो गर्न सकिन्न भनेर भनिरह्यो भने त्यो कुरा कहिले पनि गर्दैन। होइन, यो डेफिनेटली गर्न सकिन्छ, हामी यहाँ पुगेको छौँ है भनेर देखायो भने त उनीहरू त्यही अनुसार गोल बनाएर जाने हो नि त। हामीले पहिले नै हामी नेपालको हो, हार्वर्ड त हामी त कहिले नि जानै सक्दैन, त्यो त सोध्दै नसोचे हुन्छ भन्यो भने चाहिँ उसले त्यो बाटो कहिले पनि अप्नाउनै सक्दैन। होइन, तब तपाईँहरूले देख्नुभयो कि म अलरेडी नै यहाँ छु। होइन, मैले भने नि मेरो फ्यामिली, मेरो वाइफ पनि हार्वर्डमै काम गर्छ, मेरो दिदी पनि काम गर्नुहुन्छ। तपाईँको एउटै परिवारको तिनजना जाने भनेर त त्यो लक त होइन, पक्कै डेफिनेटली केही त छ होला त्यहाँ। होइन, त्यसैले त्यो त जोसँग पनि हुनसक्छ, तर त्यो चाहिँ के कुरा हो त भनेर आइडेन्टिफाई गर्न सक्नु र बाटो देखाउनु नै ठुलो कुरो हो क्या। त्यसैले मैले फेरि भन्छु कि अब तपाईँहरूको जे वाइल्ड ड्रिम, जे ड्रिम भए पनि त्यो के हो थाहा पाउनु पर्यो, अनि त्यो लेख्ने हो कि अथवा त्यो जानको लागि के गर्न सकिन्छ। होइन, खुड्किला गरेर जाने हो, एकैचोटि म चन्द्रमामा पुग्छु भनेर त सकिन्न, तर त्यहाँ जानको लागि के गर्नुपर्छ त भनेर पहिलेदेखि नै प्रिपेयर गर्नुभयो भने होइन तपाईँ धेरै टाढा जान सक्नुहुन्छ। मैले अघि पनि भने नि, तपाईँले दिनमा 1 घन्टा मात्र पढ्नुभयो भने, 1 घन्टा मात्र पढ्नुभयो भने तपाईँको त्यो 100% टाइममा त्यो भनेको 4% मात्र हो। तर त्यो 1 घन्टा तपाईँले पढ्नुभयो भने तपाईँले एक दिनमा एउटा सब्जेक्ट पढ्नु होला, अर्को दिन अर्को सब्जेक्ट पढ्नु होला, तपाईँको अब त्योदेखि 5 वर्ष तपाईँ कहाँबाट कहाँ पुगिसक्नुहुन्छ। होइन, त्यो मान्छेहरू के गर्छ, बरु 1 घन्टा टिकटक चलाइदिन्छ अथवा फेसबुक त्यही तानेर फिड हेरिरहन्छन्, बरु पढ्दैनन्। होइन, त्यो हो नि त, तर त्यसमै डिसिप्लिन आउनु पर्यो। होइन, मैले टेक्नोलोजी नराम्रो भने होइन, टेक्नोलोजी उत्कृष्ट हो, तर के गर्नुहुन्छ र के गर्नुहुन्न त्यो सबै टाइम टेबल आफूले गर्नु पर्यो। टिकटक पनि चलाउनु पर्छ, तर त्यसको पनि टाइम हुनु पर्यो। होइन, फेसबुक पनि चलाउनु पर्छ, त्यही अनुसार अरू कुरा पढ्नेदेखि लिएर सबैको टाइम हुनु पर्यो क्या। तपाईँ फेरि पढे मात्र भएर भएन नि त। होइन, मैले पनि त्यो गरिनँ, मैले अहिले देखाइहालेँ, मैले स्काई डाइभिङदेखि लिएर मैले सबै मलाई मन लागेको कुरा मैले गरेकै छु, र त्यसको लागि टाइम पनि निकालेको छु। होइन, त्यो गऱ्यो भने पो मैले पढाएको छु र मैले त्यो गर्न पनि पाउँछु है भन्ने एउटा के गोल त हुनु पर्यो नि त, त्यो चाहिँ हुनु पर्यो क्या।
थ्याङ्क यू सर, थ्याङ्क यू।
क्रिस्टिनको पेरेन्ट्सले, क्रिस्टिन अनि त्यसपछि पोलिसका, देन विल एन्ड द प्रोग्राम।
हजुर नमस्ते सर।
नमस्ते
सर, जुन यो प्रोग्राम छ धेरै राम्रो हो, किनभने यो बच्चाहरूको लागि यो चिज चाहिँ नि धेरै इम्पोर्टेन्ट अहिलेको टाइममा के, आजभन्दा अघि भने जस्तै 10 वर्ष अगाडिको कुरा होइन, अहिलेको टाइममा धेरै इम्पोर्टेन्ट चिज हो। अब म पनि यस्तो ट्रेनिङहरू लिन धेरै इच्छुक छ। म सन्दीप महेश्वरम, यो शिव खेराहरूको सबैको पहिलादेखि नै ट्रेनिङ लिन्थेँ। म लगभग 12-13 वर्ष नै भइसकेको छु। गुरु त्यहाँनिर राम्रो हुन्छ जब शिष्य राम्रो भएपछि राम्रो हुने हो। गुरुको इज्जत त्यहाँनिर हुन्छ जब शिष्य, एकजना मात्रै शिष्य राम्रो भयो पनि राम्रो हुने हो कि। त्यही भएर यो चिज सुरु गर्नुभयो धेरै राम्रो। अब यसलाई चाहिँ अझै कन्टिन्यू गर्दै गरौँ। यसपछि हजुरले भन्नुभयो जस्तै एक दिनमा 1 घन्टा टाइम दिएपछि जति फरक हुन्छ नि, अब यो ट्रेनिङमा पनि हामीले 2-3 वर्ष पछि बच्चाहरू धेरै नै चेन्ज भइसकेको हुन्छ। र अघि जस्तै भन्नुभएको छ फाइनेन्सली, जस्तै हाम्रो आइपिओ, एफपिओ, म पनि सेयर मार्केटमा म लगभग 15-16 वर्ष भएपछि इन्भेस्ट भएर म पनि अगाडि बढेको छु। वर्ल्डमा जति पनि अहिले धनी मान्छे छन् त्यसमा कोही पनि सेयर मार्केटभन्दा बाहिरको मान्छे कोही पनि धनी छैनन्, सबै सेयर मार्केटकै हो। जब सेयर मार्केट क्रास हुन्छ वर्ल्डमा धनीहरूको जुन अरबपतिहरूको लेभलहरू पनि त्यसै घट्ने हो। त्यही कारणले गर्दाखेरि यो जुन सेयर मार्केटको या हामीले जुन अहिले भनौँ न फाइनेन्सको जुन आइडिया छ, यो चाहिँ अहिलेदेखि नै बच्चाहरूलाई दिन सकेको खण्डमा धेरै राम्रो छ। अब मैले पनि क्रिस्टिनको भन्नु पर्दाखेरि क्रिस्टिनको अलिअलि जम्मा भएको चिज पनि मैले इन्भेस्ट गरेर क्रिस्टिनको पनि अहिले आइपिओ, एफपिओ धेरै नै छ, अहिले लिइसकेको छु। मैले पनि मैले उहाँलाई अहिले पनि आइडियाहरू दिइरहेको हुन्छु। एफपिओ भनेको यो हो, आइपिओ भनेको यो हो, हामीले इन्भेस्टमेन्ट यसरी गर्नुपर्छ, किनभने अहिले ग्रेड सेभेनमा हुनुहुन्छ, तर यसरी मैले आइडिया चाहिँ दिइरहेको छु। उहाँलाई सबै देखाउँछु, म कुनै कुनै टाइममा देखाउँछु। यो एफपिओ तपाईँको मैले आइपिओ यतिमा भरेको थिएँ, अहिले तपाईँको यति भएछ, त्यो पनि अहिले देखाइरहेको हुन्छु काइन्टरमा। त्यही भएर यस्तो चिजहरू धेरै नै इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ। हुन्छ सर, यो धेरै नै राम्रो चिज छ। मैले जुन चाहेको चिजहरू हो यो बिस्तारै बिस्तारै विनय सरले पनि विनय सरको जुन मेहनत छ, म त्यसलाई पनि सराहना गर्छु होइन सर। ठिक छ सर, अब हामी यसरी नै अगाडि बढ्ने हो। जुन चिजमा अब अघि भन्नुभयो जस्तै यही चिज गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने छैन, जस्तै आमा मम्मी बाबाले यही गर्नुपर्छ, यही गर्नु हुनुपर्छ भन्ने छैन। आफूलाई जुन चिजमा इन्ट्रेस्ट लाग्छ त्यो चिज हामीले गरेर अगाडि बढ्न सकिन्छ। ठिक छ सर, यो चिज र प्लस कुन चिजले गर्दाखेरि बच्चाहरूलाई अलिक प्लस पोइन्ट हुन्छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ हामीले फोकस गरेर लान सक्यौँ, धेरै राम्रो छ। हुन्छ सर, धेरै रमाइलो लाग्यो आजको प्रोग्राममा।
एकदमै थ्याङ्क यू फर द फिडब्याक। अहिले हामीले भने जस्तै यस्तो सेसनहरू हामी कन्टिन्यू गर्छौँ होइन, तर यो सेसन कन्टिन्यू गर्नको लागि विदेशी मान्छे हुनुपर्छ भन्ने जरुरी छैन क्या। जस्तै अहिले तपाईँले भर्खरै सेयर गर्नुभयो नि, तपाईँले कति कुरा गरिरहनु भएको छ, अरू प्यारेन्ट्सलाई पनि थाहा छैन, स्टुडेन्टलाई पनि थाहा छैन। प्रजनले पनि भर्खर एउटा कुरा सेयर गर्यो, त्यो कति स्टुडेन्टलाई थाहा पनि छैन, प्यारेन्ट्सहरूलाई पनि थाहा छैन। त्यो अब भविष्यको दिनमा तपाईँहरूको त्यस्तो केही कुराहरू तपाईँहरू सेयर गर्न चाहनुहुन्छ, आफ्नो कुरा तपाईँले दैनिक रूपमा राम्रोसँग गरिरहनु भएको अथवा केही कुरा तपाईँले सिकिसक्नु भएको छ भने त्यो कुरा विनय सरलाई सेयर गर्ने अथवा स्कुल कम्युनिटीलाई सेयर गरेको खण्डमा यस्तै सेसनहरू हामीले भविष्यको दिनमा गऱ्यो, स्टुडेन्टले कहिले कहिले प्यारेन्ट्सले गर्यो भने त हामी मिलेर अगाडि बढ्न सक्यो नि त होइन। यस्तै खालको धेरै लामो पनि गर्नु पर्दैन, फर्मल पनि हुनु पर्दैन, सिम्पल बोलेर मैले यस्तो गरेको थिएँ, यो भने यो रहेछ, यो भने यो रहेछ, यो किताब पढ्नुहोस्, यो भिडियो हेर्नुहोस्, मलाई त एकदम राम्रो लाग्यो है मात्र भनिदिएर दुई तिनजनाले सेयर गर्यो भने त सबैजना एउटै कम्युनिटी भयो, एउटै फ्यामिली भयो, सबै कुरा थाहा भयो नि त होइन। विदेशीले बाहिर बसेर मान्छेले भनेर अरूले सुन्ने मात्र राम्रो। मैले भने नि अघि नै नजिकको देउता हेला भने जस्तो हाम्रो त्यो मेन्टालिटी छ होइन। यसले भनेर मैले किन सुन्ने र होइन, यो को हो र भनेर जस्तो हुन्छ नि। तर त्यस्तो चाहिँ हामीले छोडिदिनु पर्यो होइन। अब टेक्नोलोजी अथवा जमाना कहाँबाट कहाँ पुगिसक्यो होइन। जो चाहिँ त्यो फिल्डमा एक्सपर्ट छ उसको सुनेर अगाडि बढ्ने हो नि त होइन।
हुन्छ, अब लास्ट क्वेसन सन्दीप सर, पोलिसका पेरेन्ट्सको छ कि पोलिस यु वान्ट टु आस्क?
Okay, sir. So my question is, I've been tending to give more interest in arts and animation than my studies. Do you think I'm gonna get anywhere in life if I continue with this?
Oh my God, you'll go way ahead. मैले भने नि यस्तो सबैजना सक्सेस हुन्छ भन्ने छैन।